Imagine this. The year is 1792. America is very young, not even 10 years old yet. On the streets of Philadelphia, you can hear the voice of a newborn nation echoing. And in a government building, a single law is being written. Its name, the Coinage Act of 1792. At first glance, it looks quite simple. Set up a mint, define the value of coins, give a newborn republic its own money. In fact, this is not an ordinary job. It's a law that rewrites how American money is to be used. It's the first step of a system built on gold, silver, and trust. An answer to the question, what is wealth? So what happened over time? Those founding principles were slowly forgotten and sometimes deliberately erased. The promise of honest money gave way to a regime of credit, inflation, and manipulation. What was Hamilton's simple but big idea? Philadelphia, 1792. President George Washington is in office. Treasury Secretary Alexander Hamilton is both visionary and controversial. Hamilton's idea was very clear. America had to be independent not only in politics, but in money as well. In those days, there was no official currency. Everyone managed with whatever they had on hand: Spanish pesos, British pounds, Dutch guilders, and private paper notes. Different exchange rates in every city, different prices. Moreover, the Continental printed during the Revolution had already collapsed. The phrase, "not worth a continental," didn't arise for nothing. Hamilton's solution was very clear and powerful, a national system based on real metal. The law described the dollar not merely as a name, but as a precise measure: 371.285 grains, approximately 24 grams, of pure silver. It also fixed the gold-silver ratio at 15 to 1. In other words, 1 gold dollar equals 15 silver dollars. The aim was simple: let gold anchor stability and let silver be used easily in the daily trade of the people. And the most important clause in this law was this: counterfeiting money or debasing it, and its punishment was death. For the founders, money was not a technical matter, but a moral one. To alter or debase money meant stealing from everyone. Good beginnings, hard realities. The law spelled out the mint, the offices, even how the coin should look. On one side, liberty, on the other, an eagle. The message was clear. This money does not come from kings. It is born of law, labor, and liberty. Did everything go smoothly? Number. The fixed 15 to 1 ratio began to diverge from the market balance between gold and silver. Gold became undervalued in the statute, while silver was pricier. People generally hoarded or exported the more valuable metal. The classic Gresham's law, bad money drives out good. In the end, this law was the foundation of the American idea we can summarize as money is for the people. It tied value not to the promise of paper, but to measurable metal. For many years, this system continued to work. War, debt, paper. As the country grew, the situation changed. During the Civil War, the government issued greenback notes not backed by metal. The 1900 Gold Standard Act shifted the system to gold, abandoning silver. In 1933, Roosevelt banned the public from owning gold, and in 1971, Nixon completely severed the dollar-gold link. Therefore, the honest, metallic, limited definition of money from 1792 came entirely to an end. What is the dollar today? Not metal, but a promise. Trust in the government and its central bank. A money that can be created by pressing a few keys. We have come from an era where the penalty for debasing money is death to a time when money expansion is applauded. Yes, the mint still exists. The coins still say liberty, but their metal value is entirely symbolic. Inflation, once considered a moral corruption, is now presented as healthy. A simple comparison. Let's say we again measured the dollar against 24 grams of silver. At today's silver price, that's about $20 to $25. In other words, since the very beginning, more than 95% of purchasing power has evaporated. Every inflation chart, every rising price, every shrinking paycheck. It all appears as the story of lost trust. The Coinage Act was not just a coinage law, it was a declaration of economic sovereignty. A framework saying no king or bureaucrat should tamper at will with the lifeblood of commerce. You can think of it as the Constitution's sibling regarding money. The shocks of the 19th century. 1834. The ratio shifted from approximately 15 to 1 to approximately 16 to 1. Gold appeared more valuable, silver fled the market. moves toward a de facto gold standard began. The California gold discovery increased inflation, but because of the fixed ratio, silver could not return. Civil War, 1861. Metal-backed money was suspended. The greenback era brought rapid inflation and melting savings. Then the big turmoil. Soft money, easy credit, or hard money, gold. 1873. Crime of 73. Silver was quietly removed from the system. The dollar was tied entirely to gold. The bimetallic dream ended. Debtors, especially farmers, were crushed under deflation. 1900. Gold was confirmed alone. Control shifted upward to banks, the Treasury, and then the Federal Reserve. The founders wanted to protect money from all negatives. In the 20th century, money itself became a tool of politics. Opening and closing the gold window, turning the credit spigots on and off, expanding or contracting money demand. Money turned into the leverage game of institutions. Major breaks: 1913, 1933, 1971. 1913. The Fed. Authority to manage credit, interest rates, and money supply. In theory, stability. In practice, immense power. The Great Depression, bank failures, flight to gold. The state needs spending, but the real money is being hidden in homes. 1933, gold confiscation and devaluation. People's gold was converted into paper. The official gold price moved from $20.67 to $35. Paper lost value, the state's gold appreciated, like a transfer of wealth. 1944, Bretton Woods. The dollar to gold, others to the dollar. In practice, trust meant U.S. power. 1971, the gold window closed. It was said to be temporary, but it became permanent. The dollar was fully fiat. After that, money became more a policy tool than a unit of measure. Increases came, inflation arrived slowly. Most people didn't feel it, but purchasing power eroded. The firm and measurable promise of 1792 turned into a soft and variable idea. Today's questions. Cantillon effect. This is the correct term. Whoever receives new money first benefits the most. By the time it reaches everyone else, prices have already risen. Money is now mostly just a number we see. Its physical share is quite small. The rest is credit, data, code. As money speed increases, control also increases. Central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, are being discussed. Money may become not just value, but permission. Spending limits, dates, blacklists. The idea of my money could hinge on a software update. That's why the forgotten lessons of 1792 still matter. Money is not neutral. It shapes behaviors, incentives, and power relations. If the individual controls money, he is free. If institutions control it, individuals serve them. The state of money determines the state of society. What do we see today? Central banks are accumulating gold. Reserves are diversifying. Crypto represents a desire for independence. People crushed by inflation are asking, what gives value to money? Who profits from new money? I earn through labor, so why is my purchasing power falling? Systems don't collapse because people lose faith in numbers, but because they lose faith in fairness. The 1792 order didn't end because gold-silver was wrong, but because it proved too burdensome for governments. Fiat can run into the same trouble. It invites abuse. When power knows no limits, it breaks the system. Final question. The story isn't over. The new chapter is being written in central banks' monetary policies, in the future of digital currencies, and in the decisions you make. The message of 1792 continues unchanged today. Money should be real, measurable, and honest. Otherwise, it turns into a weapon. The founders may not have imagined algorithms, but they knew the danger very well. If money begins to serve policy rather than the people, collapse is inevitable. For a long time it appears as growth, but afterward the result is the same. Wealth concentrates at the top, trust diminishes, value disappears. Perhaps the main truth we should recognize is this. Modern money doesn't collapse because of technology, but because we forget what the founders already knew.